I'm really glad to be here again, and today I bring you a review. Today we are going to talk about The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. The Handmaid's Tale is a dystopian novel written by Margaret Atwood that it was very predominant when it came out. Originally I think it was at the beginning of the 80s, the end of the 70s I think. And now it's been more and more famous because of the HBO series that has been done as an adaptation of this novel that has actually won a lot of Emmys, if I'm not mistaken. But I feel like this is important because it touches very well our reality, like almost mirroring our reality nowadays. So The Handmaid's Tale is actually a tale of Offred, whose life is very different from what she remembers. In Offred's world, Gilead, this new dictatorship system that is taken over, I think it's like the United States, she remembers how it is to be free, how it is to be available to go to work or having your own money, and how it's like to have your own rights as a citizen. But then slowly elite of military and kind of, I think it's more, it's kind of almost a cult idea. A military regime took over the system, stripping people away from their own rights, and to the point where the whole society was turned into this kind of military state where everyone has a role and you are born to play that role. So this horrified regime is distributed in different kind of levels. So you have the elite formed by these soldiers and kind of ideologist of this new regime of Gilead, where you can have it's like the richest people in the world, but also the ones that implemented this system. And then you have the middle class-ish people who you don't know a lot about, and then you have the aunts, and then you have the maids. So which difference is, well, in this story actually you will focus on the maids and on the highest level of them all, because the maids here are a way of being able to produce children. In this story, the wives of the commanders, of the people who actually installed Gilead, are and somehow they are not able to conceive. So this is why during the first years of Gilead, apart from trying to convince everyone and wipe out memories of the past, of a free past, and for the whole population of Gilead, there are certain people who are being caught and indoctrinated to be maids. These women are women who before they were able to have children, so there are records of them being fertile and able to have more kids. So they are turned into maids, which are the lowest people in this hierarchy. So the maids are the ones that are going to bear children, to be able to have children, but these children are not going to be their own. They are going to be for these kind of rich families that actually impose this regime. So you have Offred, whose memories are somehow flashes in the middle of the story, and then you focus on her reality as a maid, as a person who is stripped from her own identity, her own things, her own personality, because not even her name is her name. Her name is erased to be named after the person she belongs to. as a property. So her role is to actually have sexual relationship with her commander, the man who actually owns her, and to provide with children for the wife. So in this story you can see how, using the flashbacks and using the moments, how this regime strips women rights out of themselves, erase them, and you are forced to live by the standards of a society who minimize your impact, minimize your actions and your routine to be only a tool. And you can see how this starts as a small things, such as your credit card not working properly, then you are kicked out of your own work for no reason, and things go and go and go. So it's really interesting to see how what seems to be a simplistic kind of almost cult way of life is actually a hard regime. And I feel like the characters are very, very well deceived, basically because although you are more focused on Alfred, because it's the one that is talking to you, the book is curiously written as in a second person and also first person, so she's talking about herself, about how she feels, but she's talking to the reader as in a way of trying to see herself listened by someone who can actually analyze what she's going through. She's the one analyzing this kind of perfect world where things are not perfect, where women and maids are the one that take the suffering, take the bearing of a child that is no longer going to be yours. That it's very interesting to see how she makes reality and her reality now with her memories of before. And I think these changes that you see, that later on they grow and grow and grow, it's a way of explaining how society can change. I love this story because not only the narrative is spectacular, because I feel like this is very precise, and Margaret Atwood doesn't need like a paragraph to make you feel scared or make you feel kind of a little bit worried of what is going on, or even nostalgic of a reality you haven't lived. I think Margaret Atwood is able to explore a dystopic world that it could be actually now. It could be happening right now, and I think that that's the scariest part of them all. I feel like the deep kind of slow burn events that happen in this story are scary because it can be real. They can be true, and having the society as we have it now, having all the women's rights and sanitary women's rights cut, remind me a little bit of the forbidden acts for a handmaid to do. So I feel like it's a very important novel for women's rights, for society rules, and for being able to respect oneself as a person. Don't miss this book out, because it's a gem. It's a complete gem. Have you read the book? What do you think of it? I hope you like this story, and we can discuss which elements you consider more important in The Handmaid's Tale. Have you seen the show? What do you think about the series? Please tell me everything, or what you believe of the adaptation, because I haven't seen it, but I really want to. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope we can see each other very, very soon. My contacts and all details of where to find me, you can find it in the description down below, and I will be back next Friday. Goodbye.